and welcome or welcome back to my channel. It's after Christmas, time to put all the Christmas stuff away and your house looks bare. I'm going to share with you some winter DIYs that'll really spruce up your house. If you want to know how to make them, stick around. I'll show you how. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Right, Maxwell? Okay, for this one, I'm going to use some Art Minds white chalk paint and 2 snowflakes that I got at Hobby Lobby. And then I'm painting these, both the front and the back on both of these. And it really didn't take that long to do this, but you want to make sure that you get the sides real good too. And then make sure that you do the back, especially on the one that's going to stand up. Okay, next I'm coming in with some sandpaper and I'm going to rough up the sides a little bit. Just kind of get the sides where you can kind of still see that MDF board underneath it. And then just go all the way around on both sides of these. You're just doing it till you see a little bit of that brown coming through the edges. To distress them a little bit more, I'm taking some Persian gray chalk paint. I'm taking a chip brush, getting most of the paint off of my brush, and then I'm just going to lightly brush these just to kind of give it a little bit of extra color, a little bit more distressed look. And I didn't add a lot, just a little bit to kind of give it a little bit of discolored look. Next, I got out of the camera on this one, but I took one of the Dollar Tree fish bowls and I just glued it with hot glue right to the center of this. Okay, next I'm going to glue the two together. I'm just putting a little glue down at the bottom with some E6000 glue and some hot glue. And I'm just going to glue this right to the back part of the other snowflake. And then you want to let this set up for a while so that E6000 glue can dry. Okay, after that's dried, I'm going to add some fake snow to my little globe, and I'm feeling it almost halfway full. And I got this on Amazon as well. This is really good snow. It doesn't clump together or anything like that. It really looks real. A little color, I'm going to take some little green sprigs, and I'm just going to put those right around the outside edge inside of the bowl. And then I'm going to add a little white floating candle right into the center. And then I'm going to add a couple more of the little sprigs in there. And that was pretty much it. This was pretty simple. And this one turned out so pretty. And I think this one turned out so pretty. Okay, for this one, I'm taking 2 of the Dollar Tree acrylic deers and I'm going to paint them with a Krylon Fusion Satin Bright White paint. I'm going to apply a water-based stain. This is called whole wheat. I got this on Amazon. I'm just using a sponge. Dab it onto a paper towel at first and then start sponging it. You want to kind of get most of that stain off and just trying to get it enough on there to where it looks like fur. And you let it dry between coats too and then go back and coat it again. I did about 3 coats on this. And you're just kind of dabbing, don't rub it, just dab it. And I did it on the antlers too, but don't worry about that part because I did come back in here and paint those a color. And you can see I did quite a bit on this. Just if you can even blow dry it with a blow dryer in between times to kind of speed up the drying process. But you want to make sure that you do let it dry and then go back in and do it again. Like I said, I did about 3 coats on this. Antlers, I'm mixing 2 different colors of paint. I'm using the Folk Art Barcelona Beige and then I'm using the Waverly Truffle. And I'm kind of mixing them half and half. This just kind of is like a medium to dark color and just kind of get them blended in there real well and then just paint it with a regular paintbrush. It only took 1 coat to paint these. Just make sure that you get the bottom, the top, and in each little groove. Just go right up to where the ear starts and then just get the antler only on these. To mount them, I'm using 2 little cedar slices and I'm going to paint the top of these white. And I'm going to use a little brayer to get to the edges because I don't want to get my paint on the sides of this. I just want to get the very top of it. I still want to leave the sides cedar. And so if you use a brayer and just roll it to the edge, you won't get any paint on the edge. And if you can't find any of the deer from Dollar Tree, you can use any kind of deer for this. Just paint it exactly the same way. After those dried, I'm just going to take the deer and I'm going to hot glue them and put them right onto this disc. Just kind of turn them at an angle, kind of facing forward. And then I'm doing 2 of these, so I'm going to do them exactly the same way. Dress them up a little bit. I'm just taking a little green sprig. I'll give you the link for these. I get these on Amazon. And I'm just going to glue one down the bottom, one in the front, and then I'm going to put one in the side. And I didn't decide to put the one on the side until after I finished doing everything else. So just run a bead of glue down the center of that. Just stick that through the center of the deer, and then add the one in the front. And then I'll add the third one after I finish. I didn't do it on camera. I'm sorry, but I did add the third one, and I'll show you when I'm finished. Then I'm using some Snow Tex. It's just a little fake snow. I'm just rubbing it onto the greenery. I'm rubbing it onto the base just to kind of give it a little bit of a snow effect. And once this dries, this does not come off of here. It stays on pretty good. Just let it dry and it will stay. That was so simple, and look how pretty that turned out. Okay, for this one, I'm taking one of the little Dollar Tree candlestick holders and one of the terrarium bowls, and I'm going to spray paint it with that satin bright white Krylon Fusion paint. Okay, for this one, you're going to take 1/2 cup of all-purpose flour and 1/2 cup water and mix the two together. Just mix it in there real well, and then we're going to add a little bit more water to it because we want it to be kind of like a pancake mix consistency. So add a little bit more water, stir it up, and just get it mixed in real well till you have kind of like where you could pour it like pancakes. Your other bowl, you're going to just pour it with some Epsom salt. Just kind of pour it till it covers the bottom. And then go ahead and get all the clumps out of it. So kind of, take your hands and get all the clumps out because you do want this to be pretty smooth. Okay, next we're going to take a pine cone and we're just going to roll it in here. You're just trying to get the tips of this. We're making frosted pine cones. So mix that around there, get as much as you want on there, and then dip it into the Epsom salt and roll it around until it's completely covered. Okay, and then after you get it completely covered, you're going to just set it aside and let it dry. Let it dry for about 24 hours. That flour and water mixture is like a glue and it will dry hard. And I'm going to do 5 pine cones. Okay, while those are drying, I'm going to take my bowl and my stand and I'm going to paint those with some white chalk paint. I'm just going to give it a little bit more brighter look on the inside and the outside on both of them. Then I'm going to attach my base with some E6000 glue and some hot glue. I'm just going to center it right down into the bottom of that bowl. And I'm just kind of alternating. I just kind of did a little string of E6000 and then spaced between it for the hot glue. And then just let those dry real well. Just kind of center it on there. To stage this, I got this little wreath at Hobby Lobby, and then I'm just going to add my little frosted pine cones in here. And then I'm going to add a couple little greenery sprigs that I got at Hobby Lobby as well. Just kind of fill it up so it's got a lot of greenery in there just to kind of cover up any of the gaps. And that was pretty much it. That was pretty simple. The next one, I'm going to take one of the Dollar Tree vases and I'm going to take some alcohol and I'm just going to clean the inside and the outside of it. This will just help it for when I'm putting the glue on that it'll adhere a little bit easier if it is clean like this. Okay, next I got these little greenery sprigs on Amazon. I'll give you the link for them. And I'm just going to cut the bottom off and I'm going to glue these onto this vase. It only took 4 of these to do this entire project. So I'm going to add glue right down the center and just kind of make sure that it is straight up and down. And then we'll do each one of the little leaves, glue those down to kind of straighten it all up. And you don't have to do them all, mainly the big ones on the bottom, halfway up, just kind of glue them until they're flat. And that way you can make sure that, because some of these don't come out exactly even, and you can make them even by gluing these little things down. And I'm going to kind of go fast on this so you can see what I'm doing, but we're just going to glue 4 of these on here all the way around, and we are going to overlap in some sections. Just get them all glued flat because you do want this to lay flat on this jar or on this vase. Okay, then you're going to flip it over and you're going to do the other side. So you're going to do the alternating side and then we'll do the other 2 sides here in a second too. Just keep going until you have it completely glued in. And then on the other two sides, you are going to overlap. Just get it centered down the center there and then start gluing your little petals down just like you did the other side. And you're just overlapping it where it is joining together with the other two sides. This way it'll all become just one solid unit. And then you're going to flip it over and do the same thing for the opposite side. I'm just going to fill my vase up with some snow. I'm going almost all the way to the top, and then I'm going to put a candle right down into the center. So I'm probably coming up about 3/4 of the way, and then I'll add my candle. And I'm just taking a white candle and I'm just going to kind of twist it until it goes all the way down in there. And then I'm coming back in and adding a little bit more because I did want the sides to be covered up a little bit more. This was a pretty quick and easy one too, and it turned out really pretty. Okay, and look how pretty that is. Okay, this next one, I'm taking a pint-sized mason jar and I'm taking a leggin. This is a leggin I got at Amazon. I'll give you the link for these. You get quite a few in a pack. And I'm pulling it all the way to the top, making a cuff, and then I'm just going to glue this right to the jar. Next, I'm going to take another mason jar, put it in the opposite way, run it all the way down to the end, make a cuff on this side, and I'm going to glue that one in as well. This way I can get a center point on my sock without having to cut it right now and mess it up. Then I'm going to pull them apart and I'm going to cut right down the center. And don't worry about it raveling yet. We're going to sew this up here in a second on the bottom. Just get it cut down through the center and then turn it up like this side. And we're going to take some needle and thread and we are going to sew a casing and draw that up. Making just little 1/2-inch stitches all the way around, and then I'll pull this in. Then when you get to the end, just pull it, draw it up real good, and then take your hot glue gun and glue it in. And then go ahead and draw it up all the way to the end, and then you're just going to tie that off in a knot. And make sure you do get it flat because you don't want a wobbly jar. Okay, next to dress it up, I'm just adding a real big button to the very front. Conceal the top edge of the glass. I'm just putting hot glue around the rim and then pushing the sweater up against it and then hold it in place until it dries. That way you won't see that it's a glass jar from the outside. Next, to give them a little bit of stability, I'm just putting some heavy rocks down into the bottom of each one. Then to dress these up, I'm going to add some greenery. And then on this one, I bought this wreath at Hobby Lobby. I didn't use it this year because I couldn't find any way to use it. But I did like the green sprigs on it, so I am taking it apart and just kind of pulling those out. This is a good way to get some greenery that's not too expensive right now because they've got this stuff on sale for pretty heavy discounted right now. And it didn't take that long to pull it all apart, and then you can save the wreath form for something else. Then I got some pipe insulation to use in place of floral styrofoam because I didn't have any. And I'm just cutting 4 lengths, which actually I only ended up using 3. You could use a pool noodle for this too. I just had this in my craft room and I grabbed it. It ended up being about 2.5 inches long. And I'm just putting 1 full one into the base, and then I'm going to cut the second one in half long ways and put the other half of that one in here as well. That way it fit a little bit tighter, but you couldn't put 2 of those in there. Then I'm going to use both the green and the green and white together in this vase. It just looked good to add, a couple different colors of the greenery. And I bought those on Amazon. I'll give you the link for those. You get quite a few of those in a pack. And I'm just kind of alternating with those and the white and green ones. And then just take a little bit of time to start straightening them out. Kind of open them up a little bit, fan them out a little bit. so that they do blend. And then I decided to come back in and add a couple smaller sprigs right into the front just to kind of fill it up a little bit more. And that was pretty easy. Look how pretty that is. This one I'm using one of the Dollar Tree cutting boards, and then I'm using 4 of the little wooden ball knobs that I got at Hobby Lobby. They're like about 1 inch. And I'm just going to take some wood glue and I'm going to glue them down to this board. Just making a little riser out of this. Just kind of line them up so that they are kind of straight. And then just set that aside and let it dry. Next, I'm going to paint the entire thing with some white chalk paint. I'm going to paint the top, the bottom, and the 4 little balls. Okay, next I cut out the word sweater weather with my Cricut. And I'm using like a silver colored vinyl, and I'm just attaching it right to the very bottom of my tray. I'm just going to set this in my kitchen. I'm going to add some hot chocolate mix with it. I'm going to add a little deal of peppermints and some dried marshmallows. Make a little hot chocolate bar. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the video today. These were all super simple ways of bringing some winter inside your home. If you like these kind of videos, be sure and give me a like, subscribe, and ring that bell to be notified when I have a new video upload. Thank y'all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And if nobody's told you today, you are awesome. See you next time. Thanks for watching.